Okay, everybody, we'll call it a game, I guess. So how did everyone like this scenario?
It took a long time to get going, but after, like, if we play it again one more time, everybody would probably be a little more up to it and faster at the game.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta learn the rules before you can.
Yeah, and like I said, it does take playing actually the game a couple times just to learn it, and as you go, you pick up new things, and then, you know, you learn things in this that you can actually apply to your business and your life.
Yeah.
That's the cool part. So let's have one partnership from each table come up and just talk about maybe some of the things they learned and some of the any tips, any lessons. New people always. You guys just are volunteered. Come on, one of you guys. Hey, who's going from the back table there?
The girl.
No, one of the new people has to go.
Is she allowed to go? You have to.
She's played once before.
Nobody on our table wants to go. Oh, I don't know what
Right? You want one person from each membership. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how about one person from each partnership, since there's not that many people here? One person from each partnership.
Shy.
Yeah.
We'll keep
Come on,
it
table
short.
2.
Devin or Greg, we need a spokesperson.
Greg, you're it. And Lewis or Peter?
Peter.
Okay, just quickly, James, what did you learn and what?
Well, we'll let things go a lot slower when you've got a partner, most certainly. There's a lot of to-ing and fro-ing and basically deciding which route to take. Like, I've played this game before and it certainly went a lot quicker when you were just playing for yourself. You've got to find a partner who you can get on with. That's probably more important than anything, I think, that you get on with them. And they've got to have the same goals in mind. Like, it's no good one wanting cash flow or the other one, you know, wants something else. You've got to basically decide what the company is going to do and then just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, James. Okay. So would you say that sometimes having different paths can make things trickier?
It made everything just go totally off. Yeah.
Right. Okay, Teresa, what about you? What did you learn?
What did I learn? Well, I was a little nervous because I've only met Linda once before, so I felt like it was a new person, so that was kind of a new element.
Okay.
And then early on, we had a big deal, but it required going into debt, and I was very uncomfortable with that. Playing up till tonight, I've always been nervous the entire game when I have negative. But we kind of threw caution to the wind and we said, let's just play it and experiment. And it worked, yeah.
That's cool, because I heard this quote a couple weeks ago that I really liked. It was in the book, what was it called? I can't remember what book it was. It was, when the attitude's right, the facts don't matter, because facts are only what people are saying. Like, if you have the right mindset and the right attitude like you guys did, it didn't matter that it was negative. It just mattered that you knew you were going to make something work. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that was mine.
Thanks. Here you go, my partner, Prashant.
Thank you, John. So I can speak for two things. First off, I can't agree enough from James' comments that you need to have a great partner. For me, I was quite lucky that John was my partner, so all of my deals were going through him actually. And we went out of the rat race. The other thing is, I personally feel I think taking big risks and going into debt to get more assets would pay off in the end, and that's what actually happened. Is we went into debt quite heavily, but when we started paying off because of the market cards coming in, that took us out of the debt quite fast, and so we came out. So that was my comments.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So what is that?
It's money.
Leveraging money, right?
That's right, OPM.
Yeah. So we were leveraging lots of money, we were leveraging each other's knowledge, and well, you know, time isn't really a factor in this game, but in real partnerships it is. So. Paul? Yep. So what did you think of your first cash flow game? I know it was a little bit different with the scenario, but what did you learn?
I like no, it's kind of fun as a game. I'm also a little bit of a numbers person, and I am kind of doing this in the real world already with some rental property and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't really like about it is it really promotes the big market bang where all of a sudden it's like, wow, we made hundreds of thousands of dollars in 3 seconds, when in the real world we've only had that happen, you know, every several years or whatever. Something in the real world might come along like 2007, 2006, 2007, kind of up to the crash. But yeah, it was interesting and fun people at the table and stuff. I had a good time.
Okay. So do you think that people made money when the market went down?
Probably somebody did, but I don't know anyone who did.
Right. So I don't think it's trying to promote that you have to hit a big market to sort of make it.
That's what worked at our table.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. And I mean, it does help when the market is good.
Yeah.
But you could, I mean, the game's called Cashflow. You're supposed to buy for cash flow and get out of the rat race. It's not so much about the capital game.
The strategy I witnessed at our table in general was buy big, get hammered by debt, go way down, sell an 8-plex and a 4-plex, and you're rich. That was successful at our table. Cash flow stayed pretty much near bankrupt for most of us till the end. And we finally hit a couple good market cards.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much.
So things went pretty well for us. It just took some time. It was only going to be a matter of time until we would have been out of the rat race at the end. Me and my partner, our strategy right from the beginning was pretty clear, and we just stuck to it the whole time. We were just waiting for market cards. So in the end, when we ran out of time, our business was making about $5,000 every paycheck, and we were each making over $1,600. So we were just buying assets at that point. And it, like I said, it would have only been maybe a few more turns. We just needed a lot of cash flow to actually get out. Since I was an engineer and she was a lawyer, we both had really high expenses.
What did you think about this format?
I thought it was interesting. Like, there was some advantages to it because two of us were able to go after deals at the same time, and we always knew we were going to be working together. So literally, I'd pick up a deal, add that. She'd pick up a deal, add that. So you get to pick up deals faster and put your resources together every single time. And I just wanted to make a little comment. I think it's Paul, right?
Yep.
With what you were saying with the market cards, keep in mind we were actually borrowing at 120% interest. So that's ridiculous. you can't, like, you would never pay that much interest in a real life scenario. So any deal that you do in this game, it'd be a much better deal in real life, and you wouldn't need nearly as good of a deal to make it work, because you wouldn't be borrowing at interest rates that high. And the way I usually look at the market cards in this game is it's not so much like, oh, the market went up or it went down. It's also about how good of a deal you got in the beginning. Because when you pick up the card, it says it could sell for this to this. Sure. So I'm assuming that means like the current market situation. That is one way to play the game, and a lot of people do go into that strategy with buying big and then just waiting to get out. And there's pros and cons to it, because you can play other games. Some people don't allow you to go into negative cash flow, and you're forced to play a different way. So just my 2 cents on that. But it was a fun game overall. I really had fun at our table. And I think it was a cool spin that John put on it this time, adding the company that two people had to do together.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Robert. Peter, what? You look like you got something on your mind there.
Yeah, I do.
I want to go home.
Share it with us.
I think we caught on too late that by joining, that we could increase our cash flow, or that we could start building up in the company, which kind of gets my thinking going a little bit in my own situation where I have my own company. How can I make better use of that? I do a joint venture with somebody. So we're in the playing a little bit. In the game here, we kind of we're going for a while, and then we find out, well, you know, we better get this thing together so that we're actually starting to make some money out of it. And then we got confused a little bit about, you know, transferring assets and all that stuff, and kind of balled me up a little bit, but it got me thinking.
Yeah.
That's
And
the,
that's the main point.
that's the main point, so.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Peter. Greg, first time.
It was interesting. I haven't done anything, you know, business-wise in a long time. I like the fact that on your spin on this was I had to collaborate with my partner, who thankfully has some experience in this area. So, but I could learn from somebody else, work with them, and understand a little bit better on cash flow, and how to wheel and deal in property, even run negative and still come out on top.
Yeah. So would you say that having a good partner who knows what they're doing is important?
Absolutely.
Right. And I'm sure, was there anybody here who had an experience of maybe both of you weren't sure what was going on, made things trickier?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens. And sometimes people just go, hey, let's start up a business. And they go and make this ice cream business together or whatever. And neither of them know what they're doing. And they end up struggling quite a bit. So it's not always necessarily the deals you have to look for. It's more the people. You want to have good people on your team.
And I thought we were fairly like-minded, so it was
Even better.
even better to work together with him, and both of us could look at the deals and say, you know, this is a good one, that's not so good.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, thanks, Greg. So I just want to say again, you know, everybody here had kind of a different experience, which is good. That's actually the point. You know, you come, you learn, you have a different experience each time. If it was the exact same every time, obviously you wouldn't learn very much and get kind of boring. So we're probably going to have one next month at the beginning of May. Probably, I think it was like May 9th or something. I'll just send out everyone an email. And if anybody wanted to take me up on that coffee, you know, sometime next week or whatever, just come fill out one of these appointment forms, and we'll meet up, and I could give you a different perspective on things. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a good, tight group today, which is actually sometimes better. You learn a little bit more. There's not so many distractions, and thank you everybody for coming out.
Thank you.
And I have music now. The Smooth Jazz Channel. Oh yeah, I'll just grab it. Thank you.